Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about a Tinder date gone wrong. But not just any Tinder date gone wrong. This Tinder date went wrong in the outback of Australia.
Our story begins with a young man named Jake. Jake was a bit of a loner, but he was determined to find love. So he decided to try his luck on Tinder. One day, Jake matched with a beautiful woman named Sarah. Sarah was everything Jake had ever wanted in a woman. She was smart, funny, and attractive. Jake and Sarah started talking and they quickly hit it off. They decided to go on a date, and Jake was so excited. On the night of the date, Jake picked Sarah up at her place. They were both dressed to the nines and they were both looking forward to a great night. Jake took Sarah to a fancy restaurant for dinner. They had a wonderful time talking and laughing. After dinner, they decided to go for a drive. They drove out of the city and into the outback. The night was dark and the sky was full of stars. It was beautiful. Jake and Sarah found a secluded spot to park the car. They got out and walked to the edge of a cliff. They looked out at the vast expanse of the outback. "It's so beautiful here," Sarah said. "Yeah, it is," Jake said. "I love the outback." They stood there for a while, just enjoying the view. Then Jake turned to Sarah and said, "I really like you, Sarah. I think you're amazing." Sarah smiled. "I really like you too, Jake." They leaned in and kissed. It was a perfect moment. But then, something happened. Jake heard a noise behind him. He turned around and saw a pair of glowing eyes in the darkness. "What is that?" Sarah asked. "I don't know," Jake said. "I don't like it." The creature with the glowing eyes started to move towards them. It was getting closer and closer. Jake grabbed Sarah's hand and said, "We need to get out of here." They turned and ran back to the car. They jumped in and started the engine. But before they could pull away, the creature appeared in front of the car. It was huge and hairy, with sharp teeth and claws. Jake slammed on the accelerator, but the creature was faster. It grabbed the car and started to shake it. Jake and Sarah screamed in terror. They tried to open the doors, but they were locked. The creature threw the car into the air. It landed with a thud. Jake and Sarah scrambled out of the car and ran. But the creature was right behind them. They ran into the outback, but the creature was faster. It chased them through the darkness. Jake and Sarah could hear the creature getting closer and closer. They were starting to lose hope. Suddenly, Jake saw a cave in the distance. He grabbed Sarah's hand and said, "In there!" They ran into the cave and hid in the back. The creature ran past the cave, but it didn't stop. It kept running into the outback. Jake and Sarah were safe. They collapsed on the ground, exhausted and terrified. They sat in the cave for a while, trying to calm down. Then, they decided to try to find their way back to the car. They walked through the cave for hours. It was dark and damp, and they couldn't see anything. Finally, they came to the end of the cave. They stepped outside and found themselves in a clearing. The moon was shining brightly, and they could see the car in the distance. They ran to the car and got in. They locked the doors and drove away as fast as they could.